Growing up, I heard people say my voice sounded funny. I was the prefect at my high school and I was noticed by many, teachers and students alike, but I wasn't your typical Miss Popular. People have said that. Did you know that I sound like a drowning person, a whale, an alien, like bubbles, like a frog, a monster, like a fish out of water, like a wounded animal, like I'm unintelligent, like a broken record player, like a weirdo. I sound like me. I'm trying so hard to speak, but when I speak, I'm unheard. Were all those years of speech therapy for nothing? I remember shedding countless of tears. Say it, F for frog, I can't. Stop being stubborn, your parents are watching. Because I couldn't say F for frog. For every single time my parents asked me to try harder. Talk, you have a mouth, so talk. Called me weird. What did I do to deserve this? Got angry? Why can't you do anything right? Asked me to be normal. Look at the beautiful baby girl and condemned her with a look of pity and sorrow because they wanted me to live a normal life. But I feel normal. There will be countless of reminders that I'm different. We are fine, it'll be okay. Countless conversations I couldn't join in. Why does nobody talk to us? I don't know. I don't feel any different from anyone else, but anytime someone reminds me about my voice, I remember that I am. Congratulations, you are deaf and hard of hearing. Deaf. Can you hang back after class? Look, I'm not sure how to break it to you, but you're slowing down the class because you can't hear. And sometimes I barely understand what you're saying. I know it sounds super mean, but I don't think I can teach you. I hope you'll be able to consider quitting for the sake of others. I actually quit 2 weeks after from stress. All the things I've heard despite being deaf hurts. With my speech comes my deafness. I wish people knew my speech is affected by the way I hear things. Some sounds are missing, sometimes they are too garbled or too foreign for me. What people hear. I'm not like you, you're a murderer. What I hear. I'm like you, a murderer. I wish people knew I feel a burning sense of shame for every mispronunciation, blasphemy, the weight of every word on my tongue. When I recognize the frustration on people's faces that is too much for them, but I also get frustrated too. Holding every mispronunciation like a gun to my head, that I'm saying things but I feel like a dictionary of lost words. If I don't speak, am I worth connecting with? I'm afraid to say something and afraid of running out of words to say. I'm so afraid of the awkward silence that follows a conversation because I'm bad at talking. Of not knowing what to talk about because my speaking also reflects my hearing, which shows a blindingly clear reflection of my lack of social skills. At least to me. Paralysis consumed me. The weight of the silence is so loud, and I don't know whether it's comfortable or awkward. So I talk and talk and talk. I keep going on even though I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. I go on and on and on, feeling like I'm digging myself a grave by using my voice, relieving my traumas, my fears as it walks side by side with me. I honestly really love talking and I can speak, but what if they laugh? What if they think I'm strange, that I sound weird or sound funny? What if I run out of words to say? I recently only realized I'm reluctant to speak because people would laugh at how I speak, whether it was out of malice or not, and I would laugh along too. Not really knowing how to react except for A, shutting up, B, dismissing myself, or C, apologizing. I'm so tired of all the sorries that I say every time my speech is garbled. Sorry. I'm so tired of shackling myself to how other people perceive me. When I went to my first deaf festival, I was early to meet a friend, and I was stalling for time with my dad, but it was not a fun father-daughter outing. I feel sad and sorry for everyone here. Why? They all can't hear and their speech isn't very clear. What about me then? You speak better than them. You went to speech therapy when you were young and you can hear. The superiority of the speech intervention they raised with me crushed my heart. There's nothing to be sorry about. If they're fine with it, then that's all that matters. I can hear, but I'm still deaf. My speech is still funny, and there's nothing wrong with that. They are fine. That day, the silence between me and my dad was overwhelming. I was disturbed by the way I unconsciously sought out for validation, for acceptance from my parents, from people. Depressed by the way I remember how they used to hide me with embarrassment when I grew up, of how people used to look at me when I speak. Distressed by the way the phrase my mum repeats, "speak properly," still constantly echoes in my mind, reminding me of how people see me, how I see me. The voices in my head reminds myself that I speak weird, that I need to try harder, that maybe what people were saying was true. It reminds me of the time I looked back off stage at my year 12 graduation and people were whispering about my voice. The way I gazed at my feet and mumbled the rest of my page-long speech. Of all the times I struggled to read an excerpt in front of class because I got so tongue-tied. How I begged the teacher to let me read ahead to myself, alone in my head. Of all the times throughout my school years, realizing I was not shy but quiet from all the things that have been said about how I sound. Of how I tried to justify why I was alone so much. I don't know what's real now. It reminds me of how there was a time I almost went mute by choice out of fear because I was tired of having my words fall on deaf ears. I often felt alone and stuck between two worlds because I had no one to talk to and no one who could understand. I didn't feel deaf enough for the deaf community, and I didn't hear or speak clear enough for a hearing one. Hello, can we sit next to you? Yeah, of course. We're at a weirdo table now. All of us are weird on this table. You don't think I sound strange? That's not what I mean when I say weirdo table. You sound beautiful. I used to hate my voice and the deafness reflected within it. Until I found people in university who accepted me, hearing, voice, and all. You never saw I sound weird? Weird's the wrong word. You sound sick. It's okay. I mispronounce things too. Like there was a time I said, until I remembered my friends online who accepted me, a stranger, and became my found family. Until I stopped being scared of hurting my childhood friends and my handful of high school friends by association to the deaf kid. Until my cousins and partner were happy to learn sign language. How do you sound stupid? I'm not qualified to draw a sign, by the way, as I also just started learning it formally. And when I studied Auslan and met all my new mothers, my friends, of how accepting they were when I was worried about sounding weird and they didn't treat me differently and listened with respect. When I finally went to my first deaf festival and had a better experience after, I was surrounded by people like me, who sound like me. When I got my job as a student accessibility consultant and my co-workers came up to chat, I was employed to have a voice to speak or hold my peace forever about the future of accessibility services. Despite my struggles and every bad comment, I remember how much I love talking to the people I care about. I'm still learning to talk without my fears overriding me. Learning how to cope with the silence and paralysis that hangs heavy on my shoulders. Learning that it's okay to run out of words and it's okay to be quiet if I need. Learning to hit myself in the face every time I think silences mean someone dislikes me. To not force myself to speak and speak when I want. Saying thank you instead of sorry, even though I don't have to thank anyone for me, for being patient with my voice. I'm grateful to my parents for many things, but this was the one thing that I needed them to do right. One day, I hope I'll be able to show them my deaf pride. I'm grateful to all the whispers and voices for playing a part in shaping me into who I can be today. Thank you to my bullies. Thank you to my terrible teachers. I didn't need that, but thank you. I'm stronger and more independent now. To the teenage version of me, I'm deaf and sometimes I sound weird, but that's okay with me now.